It is Sunday, October 7th. I am Mark Stewart Greenstein. I would like to give here the Dvar Torah that I would have given had the Jewish Federation with its event at Emmanuel allowed me to. So, for those who missed it, you can have it now. I could be standing in front of any of you, and I want to talk about separate but equal. And it actually relates to last week's Parsha. It has one of my top 5 verses in all of Torah, okay? Chapter 2, verse 18, Breshit, where it says, "It is not good for man to be alone. I, Hashem, will fashion a helpmate for him." Helpmate. Eve, Chava, wife. But not a slave, okay? Helpmate is neged. Laborious slave is eved. Different. Not a sex slave either. I don't think the Hebrew has a word for that. Not the ancient anyway. So, a helpmate is so remarkable because it shows an equal status for women. Yet, in that Parsha and many others, the Torah shows different responsibilities for women. Different abilities are implied, and this is what does make them separate and beautiful. And it's something that too many of us, especially progressives, forget. That you can have equal standing, equal respect, but unequal realms. And that's a good thing. It's what makes dating fun. It's what makes partnerships that are better. 2 of an exact kind is dangerous, okay? Because 2 that act the same way, if it's a family pair, boom, kids are without. 1 that's different from the other, this is why we have different sexes for raising children. God figured out that's the better way. And it is probably best to stay that way without terribly curtailing other people's rights. Let's talk about what progressives in modern America do as far as rights. In the name of equal status, not equal opportunity, they put us through some silly things, like giving men paid family and medical leave. Very few men are going to take 6 or 8 weeks off. They might if they get a free benefit, but they're not yearning for it like women who are newborn mothers. 0 men need gynecological care, but that's part of some Obamacare plans and some state medical plans. It's ridiculous. Recognize the differences, we are better off. Now, separate but equal has a bad name because of the racial status that was acquired in the 1896 Supreme Court case of Plessy versus Ferguson. There, by 8-1, the court said separate but equal for schools is fine. Negro schools would be not integrated into white schools as long as they were equal. Now, that's not horrendous in intent. The problem was that decade after decade, black kids' schools were not equal. They were worse off. They couldn't get as good resources. They didn't hire as good teachers. They were treated badly. Without the equal, the separate part, as long as it's by choice, and a lot of blacks even today would prefer choice. But nobody prefers to be underprivileged at the behest of the state. In Emmanuel Synagogue, you are just down the road for an incredibly unequal situation in Hartford. Emmanuel Synagogue had its origins in Hartford. They moved to West Hartford in the 1960s. Where you left from is a city that's still mired in race-based inequality. And I rarely say that things are race-based, but here it's deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, Sheff versus O'Neill is a decision by the state Supreme Court that has not been followed through in any sort of way of fairness, with the intent of making better opportunities for African American urban kids. It has made it worse. We have kids who can't get out of bad schools unless they win a lottery. And those kids happen to be black and Latino. And the only reason that they can't get out is because there aren't enough white and Asian kids going to the same schools. They have this 3-to-1 ratio that they're keeping sacrosanct in the name of God knows what. Okay? The judges can't undo this. The legislature, which could, has not seen fit to. A governor is needed. A governor must do this. I am a governor candidate who would immediately, I'm saying by the end of January when I get inaugurated, there will not be a kid in Hartford who wants to go to a better school who's denied. Their families are paying for it. Taxpayers want it, and you can't figure it out. You need a strong governor for it. Ned Lamont is probably going to be Connecticut's next governor. And I want him to be a strong governor. Ned, I hope you take this up because it's more than just Hartford, it's other cities with this disparity. I am challenging Ned to be a better candidate first and hopefully better governor all the way through. I hope Ned will listen and take up the plight of urban African Americans who are being abused by their own government. It's a shame because it's our party who's put us into this more than the Republicans have. The Democrat Party should get African Americans out. I'm Mark Stewart. More to come. Thank you for listening.